to my channel, or welcome if you're new. Today we'll be talking about Kingdom Legendary War episode 3, which also concludes like the first round of performances to the world, and I'm so excited about this. In my last video I talked about the episode 2 and all of the performances that happened in that episode, and I kind of briefly ranked them based on just the 3 performances that we saw last week. But this time all 6 groups have performed, so now I can give you my full ranking, even though it's really hard. But yeah, so many exciting things happened this episode. I really liked this episode, this week's episode. The only thing I didn't like about it was the ending. We'll get into that. If you didn't watch my recap of episode 1 and 2, I'll just quickly put up my rankings on the screen right now from last week and the week before that, just so you can get an idea of where I'm coming from. I really do recommend that you go check out especially the first video, just to get a more in-depth look at my take on Kingdom and why I'm watching Kingdom and stuff like that. Although I will say, I went into this being I don't really know any of these groups, I don't care enough about any of these groups, but my god, this show has just made me fall in love with all of them. I already really liked the members of The Boys and Ateez, and I loved B2B's discography and I love iKON's music, but this really just, I love all of them now. It's really fun seeing not just them interact with each other, but also across groups and the way they're reacting to things. I really like these groups a lot. And me and one of my friends have been watching a lot of Stray Kids things together. And I just really love the members of Stray Kids too. And at this point, I think I might pick up collecting The Boys. It's a whole mess. I did not go into this with the intention of becoming a fully fledged boy group stan, but here we are. Anyways, so this episode started off with Stray Kids performing. Actually started off with Stray Kids preparing for their performance, which was so fun to see. One thing I really loved about, this performance is that we got to see both Bangchan and Bangchan from Stray Kids and Hongjung from Ateez. Is that we got to see them actually working on the music and not just before the music came from this unknown company source that we didn't really know about. We just heard about their ideas to actually perform, if that makes sense, for the other performances. But this time it was actually some of the members who were in there and working on it, and I think I really like that. I don't know, that just made me appreciate it a bit more, I feel the fact that we actually could see the members work on more than just the dance. But it was really funny because Stray Kids met up with the JYP divisions, and they were talking to their staff, and their staff seemed really great, not gonna lie. The staff wanted them to do God's Menu. They thought that would be the best suited song for this round. And Stray Kids were that would be a good idea, but we also want to do more. We want to show a song that only Stray Kids can do. So they showed Side Effects and God's Menu, and it was really cute because the staff was we trust you guys, if this is what you want to do, then we trust you guys enough to do this, and we're sure that you're gonna make a great performance nonetheless. And I thought that was super cute. So they make a mashup of God's Menu and Side Effects, and like I said, it was Chan working on it, and then they had in their practice room they were working on acting and the choreography and how to lay it all out. And then they got a visitor who was Wooyoung from 2PM. I don't know, it wasn't really bad. I mean, he was really nice and supportive, but I don't know, I found it weird. It was the only JYP senior that they could find. I don't know. I just found it a little weird, but it was cute nonetheless. It was a cute interaction, of course. We love JYP artists communicating, interacting. That's the word I was looking for. Now, as for the performance, I liked it. I liked all of the performances this round. That's it, it was really hard for me to rank them because they were all similar in how I liked them and how they were executed. I had some issues with Stray Kids' performance. First of all, I didn't really see a clear storyline until Eric from The Boys pointed it out afterwards. I was okay, they have all of these really cool things and it looks nice, but what are they going for here? I'm not quite sure. But after Eric pointed out the storyline, this whole going from being controlled to being the controller. I thought it made a lot of sense. I just think I'm not really good at the symbolism. Yeah, I didn't get it. That's what I'm trying to like get at here. But after rewatch, I kind of picked up on all of these things and I thought it was pretty like nice. My favorite elements from the stage were when they got up on the platform. I thought that gave like a really cool effect that they were like above the rest of the stage and like the backup dancers and stuff like that. And I also really liked that part where Felix like hit that bell and like the doors behind him just shut. That was so nice. That was so nice. I also really liked Chan's part. If you watched their performance, you know what I'm talking about. The one where he's like, there's like the guy beneath him shadowing his moves. I thought that was pretty cool. The whole sheet thing gave like a pretty like creepy feeling to their stage. And I liked it because I think it really fit in. As for like other critiques, I don't know, there was not a moment where I was like mind blown, which there doesn't have to be a moment where I'm mind blown, but there wasn't a moment where I'm mind blown. And if you compare them to like other stages, me not being mind blown is like a factor that plays into where I'm gonna rank this. Because I had these elements for the other groups, or for some of the other groups. Also, there seemed to be some issues with the remixing that it just sounded very fan-made, and I felt this way when I first like watched it, and then I talked to my friend about it, and like she pointed this out before I did too, like before I had the chance to like talk to her about it. She was like, something's weird here, and I'm happy that we agree. Because like Chan had like pitched God's Menu so that it had the same like BPM, I guess. I'm not a musical genius, but I don't think you have to be in order to like hear there's something wrong. You know how in fan edits they play with the pitch so that the two songs go together? It sounded like that, and I think that's sad. Yeah, that kind of threw me off because all of a sudden God's Menu was like really high pitched. I don't know. I don't even know if I'm making any sense. It was just a thing that kind of threw me off of their performance a little bit. But yeah, it was great. Their stage presence is amazing. Yeah. Stray Kids. Again, it was good. All the performances were amazing this time around. Holy shit. Can I swear? I swore in the first one. It's okay. After Stray Kids, if you don't remember, Stray Kids were the one who made the order of the performances. And they had put Ateez after, and it was really fun because I don't know if you remember, but Wooyoung, who is like friends with Changbin from Stray Kids, throughout Stray Kids performance, he had this like little sign that said like, "My friend Seo Changbin is the best," and that was so cute. I just found it really funny because like I think Changbin and Sungmin was like, oh, let's put Ateez like right after us because people like expect the same things from us, and it'd be fun to like compare us to each other. And it was just so much for my friend Seo Changbin is the best. But oh my god, Ateez did so well. Ateez has this very like clear concept of being pirates. That's their whole entire deal. Like their first many albums were called like Treasure, because treasure map and finding a treasure and stuff like that. And their debut was called Pirate King, and that's just, it's been their concept. And it was also their concept for their first performance, and I like that they like carried it over. I really love that about the boys and not Stray Kids, Ateez in this like season, that they both have a very clear like concept that they're sticking to throughout the performances. I love that so much. So Ateez's concept is pirates, and they decided to go with Wonderland, which I'm really happy about. There was like no doubt they said that this was like the song to perform to global fans if they had to choose. Like there's no way it would be any other song, and I'm really happy about that because it fits so well. But basically Hongjung was like he came home in their studio and just started watching Pirates of the Caribbean? Pirates. Disney's Pirates. And he was basically like, yes, this is what we're doing. This is this is what our stage gonna be like. And then he and their producer team and their like main extra producer Eden like got together and was like, okay, we need a classical piece for this performance. Like we need to morph Wonderland with some sort of classical piece. And they chose From the New World by, I don't know how to pronounce it. Yeah, by this like musician, obviously. But it's a very like iconic piece, and it fits so well with Wonderland. I feel like it gave it this really cool piratey feel, and they nailed it. They did so well. And oh my god, they were so busy too. Like every single member was like working with a different like team and stuff to really put this together quickly, because they were promoting Fireworks, like their new comeback, like alongside preparing for this, which is insane. Like Ateez and SF9 have been so busy while doing Kingdom, and I just feel so bad for them. Like I really hope that they get enough rest, but I know that they don't, and it just makes me so sad. Drink break. But oh my god, their actual performance was insane. They really went like all out on props, and obviously you don't need props to make a good performance. Like Icons is also one of my favorites, and they didn't really go all out for the set and stuff, but it really just did add to the feeling. And I've seen a lot of criticism of Ateez's performance where people were like, oh my god, it's not good, you guys just want to like look at the set and stuff. But I think the set really contributes to the performance being good, but it's not a necessity, you know? Like if it makes sense, then I think you should include it. But if it doesn't make sense, like it wouldn't make sense if Icon had this whole big extensive set but they still made a good performance, you know? So like that's the thing when I say that I like Ateez's performance, is that I get a lot of backlash from people who are like, but you don't need sets. And I know that, please, I know that. But their performance was really great. They had a very like clear storyline. Like they were obviously on a ship and they were like battling this huge like sea monster. Like what the fuck? That was so insane. When that tail came out, I lost it. I freaking lost it. And it was so cute because Bobby from Icon's reactions are just the best in the show. But he was so into it. Like when Songhwa finally shot like the tail down, Bobby was like sitting in his waiting room just celebrating, and I thought that was so adorable. Like, love Bobby, love his reactions. God, I don't even know how to properly describe Ateez's performance. It was just really, really good. Their stage presence is awesome, as always. They're very intense on stage, especially San. But I think we all know that by now. But it was so great. And they, for the most part, they were singing live, which I also appreciate. Like, I don't care too much. That's the thing, like, I don't really care that much in K-pop about live singing, because I'm here for the dance, you know? But for the most part, it was, like, very evident that they were, in fact, singing live, and I appreciate that. Jungwoo's high note, though. Listen, I love Jungwoo's vocals. Jungwoo is one of my, like, favorite vocalists of, like, the fourth generation, and he's also one of the reasons that I like checked out Ateez in the first place. It was because of his vocals. And I know that he can hit those notes, and I know that he can do it well. I just think something went wrong, because you don't need to be a musical genius to know that that wasn't it. Like, it was still impressive, and it's still like it was still like, holy shit, he's doing this, but it could have been better. It didn't minimize the performance for me at all. Like, that kind of sounded weird, you know? Do it make sense? Do I sound biased? I'm sorry. As for SF9, oh my god. SF9, I feel so bad for them. They all have like separate schedules. Like, some of them are filming dramas, like emceeing. There's this one guy who's in a musical. So like they didn't really meet up that much as like all 9? They're 9, right? SF9. Right? Did they lose a member? I'm honestly not quite sure. They're like the only group where I'm not quite sure about the members. I like their music a lot, but I don't really know the members that well. I only know like 2 of them. But all of them basically couldn't really meet up that much because of their like conflicting schedules. And oh my god, they must have been so busy. I feel so bad. Like, I want to say like don't overwork yourself, but I know that they're doing that. But one thing that was like good about them having like conflicting schedules was the fact that they were all over the place and they were like talking to all of their like co-workers, and I thought it was so cute, like especially Chani's interactions, because he was talking to Bomin from Golden Child, and he was also talking to, well, Chanu from iKON. I love that iKON and SF9 are like helping getting each other like screen time. Love that for them. But both of those interactions were so cute. Like, Bomin Golden Child was on Road to Kingdom. So it was really funny seeing them being like, oh my god, you need to give me like advice. And Bomin being like, but you're my senior. I can't give you advice. You need to give me advice. And I thought that was so cute. And just Chanu and Chani is a friendship that I didn't know I loved this much until Kingdom. But my god, I love it whenever they interact. Like iKON and SF9, I love. As for their performance, they went with like a fairy tale-ish concept. They explained it as so they were like stealing their beauty from each other. And they did that like using mirrors and kind of like killing off each other. They performed Now or Never, which it's not my favorite of their songs, but I do like it. Especially after this performance, I think it went really, really well. Like the low tone of the chorus, I think went really well with the like darker elements of their performance. Yeah, it like started off being like all mystical and stuff. And like I said, they used these mirrors a lot and they used it really, really well. I loved what they did with the mirrors. Like that was so creative and it just went so well with the concept. Like, yes, love that. But basically like one of them like slapped the other across the face and I was just like, oh my god, like it's not that big of a deal, but like, oh my god. Like, perfection. We love to see it. They had some issues when they were practicing, and there's this one point where one of them had to like, or 3 of them were like lifting backup dancers and they failed in rehearsals, one of them. And I also think it wasn't as noticeable, but because I was like made aware of the fact that it happened through rehearsals, I like looked at him during the performance and I think something went wrong there, but everyone seemed to be okay. So I don't think it's that big of a deal. Like, everyone made mistakes, like Wooyoung made mistakes too. I think. I'm not sure because he like they just kind of moved on. But I think he kind of landed something a little bit wrongly. But also like Sunwoo lost his gripping on the like rope thing. None of these were like perfect to a T. And as they were all saying like after the performance, they were like, oh my god, I have regrets. But I don't really think it changes the performance that much since it still went on smoothly. It's just something that I wanted to point out. I also really loved, I think Chani had this like dance break with a woman and it looked really good. Honestly, the women in SF9's performance, listen, stunning. We love women in this household. But yeah, I really loved SF9's performance, and they really made a comeback from their last performance that I placed last time. But I really, really love this. Like the concept and the song and the outfits, oh my god, the outfits and just everything went so well together, and I'm so happy that they did that. I'm really proud of them. They did super, super well. Also, Taeyang is the main character. I don't take constructive criticism. Him and Minhyuk, main characters. Wait, I totally forgot. I was like praising SF9 and iKON. Listen, before, like right as they were telling SF9 to like get ready and stuff, iKON were like shouting really, really loudly from their waiting room. They were like, SF9! and SF9 could hear them. And then SF9 started singing like Love Scenario. And that entire interaction was so freaking adorable. Like, they were so cute, all of them. I love that they hype each other up and give each other screen time. We love to see it. Anyways, after the performances, they gathered together and they had to get their votes and like their rankings and stuff. I hate it here. I've been very vocal about like loving iKON's performance, and they didn't rank 6 this time. Like they started with the like professional votes, and they didn't rank 6, but all 3 of the like senior groups ranked at the bottom. And the thing is, like, I would like to sit here and believe that like everything has been conducted fairly and stuff like that. And I don't want to sit here and be like, just because I like the performances a lot, that like other people also had to, and that the professionals had to. But there's just like a weird pattern here that's like starting to show, and that is that like the older groups aren't getting as much from like Mnet, and especially a lot of like K-nets have been talking about like unfairness and like who are the professionals and do they only like architecture. And again, I don't want to sit here and be like, oh my god, Mnet cheated, just because of like my own personal bias towards iKON's performance, because that was great. Because like Ateez ranked first, and honestly I'm really happy about that because I ranked Ateez really, really high as well. But I understand because like iKON's performance was like trending last week, like trending in Korea. Ateez and iKON have been trending respectively, and like that was such a good performance. Like Killing Me started trending again after their performance, and it just seemed like there's this general sense of like, we really love this from everyone. So it just seemed like really sus to me that they were ranked that low. So they got the ranking, and I don't remember it completely. All I remember is that Ateez and Stray Kids was at like the top, and the 3 older groups were ranked at the bottom. So I'm assuming the boys are third. But yeah, those were from like the professional votes, and then they got in the like, so the groups had to vote for their favorite, and it didn't really change much, to be honest. And it was so sad because like SF9 didn't get any votes. And it's just, I know it's a competition, and it's like, it's a part of the whole thing. It's just when it comes out of Mnet, I have trust issues. Listen, I've watched every like season of Produce 101, and after everything that happened to like ICE1 and X1, I just don't trust anything that comes out of Mnet, to be honest. Like, when I saw the premise of how like the votes were split, I was like, okay, that's good, because then Mnet can give their own opinion, but fans can also like get their own opinion. So it's like even, so Mnet can still influence it. But I just don't trust them. I really don't. I also saw someone on Twitter who was like they're keeping iKON at the bottom so that Koreans will keep watching and keep streaming and stuff like that. And honestly, that does sound like a tactic that they probably would use, not gonna lie. It just seems so far-fetched if it was anything other than Mnet. And I'm just not satisfied with it. I'm happy though that they got rid of the elimination system that they had in Road to Kingdom, because I'm not sure that I could let go of any of these groups, not gonna lie. Like, I've gotten so attached, and we're only on episode 3, but I really like these groups and I want to see more of their performances. And that, anyways, I don't have too much to say about the ranking, mainly because I'm just about the entire thing. Like, oh, it rubs me the wrong way, but it's fine, whatever. Let's move on to my ranking. So last episode I ranked iKON, The Boys, and BTOB. That has changed. Obviously it has changed because like there were 3 more performances. But basically, if I were to like rank them from 1 to 6, I would rank them iKON, Ateez, BTOB. Oh god. the boys, SF9, and Stray Kids, I think. If you're a stay, please don't come for me. Like I said, I loved the performance. Loved it, loved it, loved it. And last time I ranked it first. So I just don't want anyone to not like me because of how I rank their performance, okay? But that's how I would rank them if I had to. Like if I had to lay them out 1 to 6. But I don't want to do that. So instead I want to say that my official ranking is like split into 3. So the first place is iKON and Ateez. Love their performances. It's the ones that I've like wanted to rewatch the most, and it's the one that made me feel the best, basically. So those 2. Then second is for BTOB and BTOB only. Love their performance. I did give it some critiques last time, but I kind of got over that. And honestly, I just Minhyuk. And then for the third place, it's like the remaining groups. So SF9, the boys, and Stray Kids. Because they all did really well. Obviously, all of them did really well. But they all did really well. And I think their performance, like, it had the same amount of wow factors. It had the same amount of, like, greatness to it, if that makes sense. Like, it had the same feel. So yeah, I would rank those 3 in the same spot as well. And again, like, all of them were so amazing. I love this round. And I love all of the groups on this season. Like, they're doing so well. And I'm so proud of all of them. And I can't wait for, like, future rounds. Like, oh my god. They're so amazing. So yeah, that's my official ranking. iKON and Ateez, BTOB, and the rest. Right. So honestly, I think that was all I had to say about this performance. I'm excited for next week. I don't remember any of the previews because in my mind there's only Taeyang from SF9 right now. But I'm really excited for next episode and for future episodes. And I love doing these videos. And I really hope that you like watching these videos. And if you do, please, please, please leave a comment and maybe a like and maybe subscribe. I hate when people do that, but like, I'll be back with some unboxing videos like next week or this week, depending on how long this takes to upload. And I, of course, will also do a recap of the next episode next week. So look forward to that. I am really excited and I hope you are too. Please leave like your ranking down below if you have one, and also like your opinions about the entire thing. Like, I really want to know because I know that people have like different opinions from my own. Like, I saw someone on Tumblr who ranked iKON like lowest and I was like, what? Like, please give it to me. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and if you're watching this far, like, you're amazing. Anyways, see you in my next video. Bye!